Hello, hello, everybody. I have not been live in a long time, but I'm live tonight. So we're going to talk about it. How's everybody doing? Come on and get in, get situated, and let's talk about everything. I'm Ty. I'm Ty Time is History. Haven't been live in about 3 years, so bear with me. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is, yes, we're going to get into this America's Next Top Model documentary, but because this is a history channel, I'm trying to figure out how to make my live streams about history still and, be able to talk about some things that are worth live streaming about. So I did watch all three parts of this documentary. I got to watch it with my family last night. And I watched the first part by myself, and I watched with my mom and my sister and my beautiful niece last night. So we're going to get into it. And there's a parallel from history that I want to talk about. So that's what we're going to get into today. And I really, really hope y'all enjoy this. So bear with me. Breathless Connie, I'm so excited to catch you live. I'm editing photos, so I won't be super chatty. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So I hope you enjoy the live stream. Shar is here. Hello. How are you doing? Thank y'all so much for coming. Y'all know I used to live stream every Sunday, and my live stream chops are not what they used to be, but we are going to work it out. We're going to have a good time anyway. So I'm pulling up my notes now so that we can get into everything that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about what you want to talk about as well. Because I have a feeling that you all kind of want to talk about the juicier parts of the documentary, and we're going to have time to get into that too. I want to hear everything that you all have to say. Oh, Michelle, Michelle, y'all know I have a YouTube membership where I help people with YouTube growth and teach about YouTube, and Michelle is one of my members who gave me some pointers for before I started this live stream because I was feeling super nervous about coming on. For those of you who don't know, one of the last times that I live streamed was when my dog, who was my everything, he started having the seizure that ended his life. And so I associated that with live streaming. And that's why y'all haven't seen me live streaming in a long time. I used to live stream every Sunday. Y'all know we would have fun on Sunday Fun Day. I play games and give away money. But I'm trying to come back. And Michelle gave me some really good pointers to just get myself relaxed and get back in here talking with y'all. So I'm super excited to be here tonight with all of you. Christine, okay, first live. I haven't been here in a while, so I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you stick around. And Shar knows, yeah, and I appreciate that you miss me. I miss y'all. You were wondering, Deborah, so now you know the backstory. I shared it here and there. Hi, Kimberly. I try not to, bring y'all down because, that was just something that I like to do to lift everybody up. But let's get into what I have for y'all tonight. And, I want to hear from you all. And I'll probably drop the link a little bit later so that you all can chat with me and tell me what you all think about everything that we're talking about. So the man on the screen is Florenz Ziegfeld Jr., and he 31, and he created the Ziegfeld Follies. Now I put together a little slideshow here so that we can move through everything. This is the man, Nathaniel. How are you doing? I missed you so much. I'm so glad to see all of y'all here. Oh wait, I missed. Is XOXO Stacy? Hello, darling. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. So this is the man that we're talking about. This is the man of the hour. And we have the woman of the hour, the villain, Tyra. Did you all watch? Let me know before I get too deeply into this. Hi, Baldo to love. Did you all watch the documentary? Is that why you all are here? Are we ready to bag on Tyra Banks and give it to her tonight? Let me know. Let me know. But Ziegfeld Follies, and so this is the show. This is just like a little, banner, I guess, for the show that he created. And it was this series of these massive, lavish Broadway review shows that ran for over 2 decades. And I think that that's an interesting coincidence when you consider that America's Next Top Model ran for 24 cycles. Now, I know that it wasn't 2 decades, and it was crazy because a lot of people were like, 24 seasons? Like it was on for 24 years? No, we are not all crazy. It didn't run for 24 years. It ran for 24 cycles. UPN was eating up that show. And like early on, they like were just saying, hey, we need to have 2 cycles a year. So we are not all crazy. It wasn't on for 24 years. Stacy says, I watched, had thoughts, made a video. Ah, Stacy. Okay, you're gonna have to let's stick a pin in that. Stacy, let us know your channel so that we can go watch the video that you made. Did you already upload your video? Let us know. Okay. So even though it wasn't 2 decades, I do think that maybe that's an indication. We got 24 cycles for top model, 2 decades for this guy, but maybe that's an indication that these types of antics that we're going to talk about tonight have a shelf life no matter the century. So as far as Ziegfeld Follies, you can think of that as the Super Bowl halftime show meets a beauty pageant, meets a variety show every single year on Broadway. Kind of the way if you watched the documentary, Tyra described America's Next Top Model as American Idol meets the real world. Okay, so this guy, his let me put his picture back on the screen. Y'all know I'm rusty on my on my streaming, so let's just put his picture up. Okay, so his whole brand was built on one thing, just like Tyra, beautiful women. His slogan was literally glorifying the American girl. He handpicked every woman in his shows. He judged their face, their figure, their charm, and turned them into what became known as the Ziegfeld girls. And being a Ziegfeld girl was like the highest status that a young woman could attain in the entertainment era back then. And it was, I guess, I wouldn't say it's the equivalent of being a Victoria's Secret angel, but it's up there, something that people really want. Or maybe winning America's Next Top Model. It meant that you had been chosen by the man who decided what looked beautiful in America. So at its peak, the Follies had this global audience of millions, just like what? America's Next Top Model. The biggest ratings at UPN, the network that showed America's Next Top Model, just in case anyone didn't see the documentary or doesn't really care about Tyra, but maybe you just care about me. So biggest ratings that network had ever seen, over 100 million viewers. I think that she said over 130 million at its peak. Let me know if correct me if I'm wrong. I'm always fine with being corrected. And the Follies show launched the careers of huge stars, and it made Ziegfeld incredibly wealthy. And notice that I said that it made Ziegfeld wealthy, not the young women. The same way that Tyra became wealthy from America's Next Top Model, but the aspiring models never got paid from the network or got paid very little. I'll get into that, at least according to one of the Cycle 9 contestants. I think she let us on to just how little they were being paid. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the girls never got the pay from the network that they deserved, right? They never got like any kind of steady pay. And the vast majority of them were not able to turn their appearances on the show into any kind of real income for themselves. But as for Ziegfeld, now the glamour, behind the glamour, the women in his shows were controlled, they were exploited, and they were discarded when they were no longer useful to the brand. So I have to ask you, if you saw the documentary, does that sound like a supermodel turned entrepreneur that maybe we've heard of? So let's get into it. Just like Tyra positioned herself as this champion of diverse beauty while enforcing cruel standards, Ziegfeld sold himself as the man who elevated women. And again, his slogan, glorifying the American girl, that was in reality just him being the sole arbiter of what beautiful meant. And he personally selected the women. Again, he would judge everything about how they looked, their face, their figure. He would even, I don't know, I guess, judge their manner, their grace, their poise, before he would ever consider whether they could sing or dance. And this, was a Broadway show, so they really just needed to be able to sing and dance really well. But he needed to know how good they looked. And then, if you look good, let me see if you can sing a tune. Let me see if you can dance a jig. And he once compared his process to how he picked the women to quote how Mr. Hines views and chooses America's most nearly perfect pickles. End quote. He was literally comparing women to pickles. That's how he chose them. And the women were ranked in a hierarchy. So he has the showgirls at the top. Those were the tall women who modeled costumes. And then the chorus girls were at the bottom. He called them ponies and chickens. And just like America's Next Top Model had their ratings, their rankings and eliminations, Ziegfeld had a caste system that was built into his productions. So one thing that he also did was control their appearances. Let me move along in my slideshow and see. Let's see here. Oh, hold up. This is it Maine? Tell me if I'm mispronouncing your name. She said, oh, you're live. Yeah, it's been a few years, but I'm live. And so let me give you all the cheat sheet. If you see me leaning this way, I'm leaning to turn my space heater on because I get cold and hot. If you see me leaning this way, I'm leaning to get a TREAT for my dogs. And let's see, if you see me leaning this way, like up this way, I'm probably giving them a TREAT because that's where their beds are, and I'll pitch them a treat. So I'm not crazy if you see me moving around like that. That's what's going on. Let's see here. Connie says, what a fantastic parallel. Oh, okay, I'm glad that y'all appreciate the parallels, and so does Stacy. Again, we got to get into Stacy's video, see what's going on up there. So let me go through this slideshow and see if there are any slides that I should have been showing while I was running my, flapping my gums. Let's see here. Okay, so this is what the girls look like who he picked. So you see they're, clearly dancers. They're all in pointe shoes here. This is what he had, right? And we know that that's an elimination scene from Top Model. Let's see here. Let's get to what I want to talk about because these slides are going to help me get through this stream. Okay, it's Mayeen. Thank you, Mayeen. I appreciate you. Yeah, please let me know. And what do we have here? There we go. So just another note, I live in a tiny town about 30 miles outside of Houston, and we're not the city, so my internet's not the best. So if the wind blows too strongly, I might lose a connection, but just hang on, I'll be right back. Let's see here. She who must be obeyed. Okay, love your analysis on the topic you cover. Very thorough and informative. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, wait. Who's Joni? Am I missing something? Did I miss something? Or is that your name? Okay. Gotta watch. Yes, you have to watch. You have to watch that. Gotta watch it. Yes, I am in. Yes, I am. You're exactly right. Okay. So now let's talk about controlling appearance, the appearances of these women, these young women. So we know that Tyra pressured a model named Danielle and a model named Joni into dental surgery. And she forced some pretty drastic makeovers, but I think that these two were probably the most drastic. And Ziegfeld also controlled every physical detail of his performers, their weight, their measurements, their hair, their wardrobe. Girls who gained weight were let go. And he exploited a legal loophole. This is back in the 1920s. And this legal loophole allowed him to have nudity on stage as long as the performers remained completely still. So literally just turning women, pickles, into living statues. And in a 1926 number that he had called Treasures of the East, a performer appeared nude on stage and just posed as an immobile slave girl. And they were, just again, literally objectified and turned into objects. So now, because America's Next Top Model was really strict about its age limits, having the girls to be 18 plus, nudity was on the table. And we were told that it was, tasteful and high fashion. And I think that I have a picture that you all will probably remember. Okay. And I put it in this size, like for a reason. Do you all remember? This is from season 2. This is just what was that, like body paint? So they were nude. These girls showed up 18 to 24, and many of them probably their first experience being away from home. And hey, y'all, let's get nude, right? And remember from season 1, one of the first things that Tyra does is have the girls get a bikini wax as part of the show. Obviously, she didn't show what was going down below the waist, but what an experience. You're 18 years old and this is what's going on as soon as you leave home, right? So I can only imagine what those girls who were fresh out of high school, were thinking when they're told to get naked in front of a whole crew of people. So that was Tyra's version of this. But now we'll go back to Ziegfeld, who had an in-house artist. And I think it's going to be my next slide. Yeah, this guy. His artist was Alberto Vargas, and he would paint idealized nude portraits of the performers, and sometimes without their full consent or their knowledge of how the images would be used. So I'm glad that y'all are seeing the parallels. And similarly, the top model women didn't know what kind of edit their photos or even their videos would get, or how often or in what capacity their photos were going to be used. And the bottom line is that whether you were a Ziegfeld Follies girl in the 1900s or a top model girl of the 2000s, you had no control. And so now I want to talk about specific women who he used and destroyed. Let me get to your comments first. So let's see here. It's Quiche. In the Place to Be, I think. Okay, yeah, I saw all 3 of them. All of them were villains. Yes, I have no sympathy for anyone, Quiche, except for the models. That's just how I feel, and we'll get into that because I want to know what you all think about everything. Is it Alicia Wakefield? Says, I support Tyra. She became what the industry made her. Just think about what type of pressure she was under in her career. Yes, a lot was wrong. However, you cannot blame Tyra for it all. And listen, everyone here, y'all know I don't like echo chambers. So everyone here is allowed to have their opinion. And I don't blame Tyra for it all. I do blame Tyra, as well as everyone else who was involved. Producers, Ken Mock was there looking just as guilty as anyone else, as well as the judges, the Jays, the Nigel, the beautiful man, right? I blame them all. I don't just blame Tyra, but I do blame her. But some people don't blame Tyra at all. Some people are like, hey, she's just a product of her environment. Everyone here is welcome to have their opinion. And I don't want anyone, arguing in the comments. Let us all live. Let's have our opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion here. We're just having a discussion. We're grown people having a discussion. No movement, I guess, to avoid jiggle physics. That jiggle physics, y'all. About the age of 30, you can't avoid it. Yes, the bikini wax was such an invasion of privacy. I totally agree. That was, y'all, reality TV was a crazy thing when it when it started. We didn't know what we were seeing. I was, I was entertained, but and I don't know if my brain was fully formed when the show came out, but it was close. But I think about 5 years in, I got bothered enough about it all. Modeling has always been a business filled with predators. Yes, for sure, for sure. Our friend True Crazy Lion from across the pond. I always been telling him, you need to be in bed. You need to go to sleep. Says hi, chat. Good to see another live. Love the video title, by the way. Hope you're good. I am, and I hope that you're doing well. Also, yeah, everyone. I blame them all. Christine agrees with me 100%. So, like I said, there are no wrong opinions, but when you agree with me 100%, that is the right opinion. No, of course, I'm kidding. But look, you know, the parallels between between this man and the 2000 American Next Top Model is crazy. I agree. So I had to talk about it, y'all. Totally agree. Freedom of expression of opinions is so important. Yes, we are not shutting anyone down because they don't agree with me. We're having a discussion, and I'm glad that people feel free to be able to talk and voice their opinions, and like they're not going to get attacked here. We're just talking. We're just talking. So let me show you a woman who. Okay, this lady's name is Anna Held. And in my opinion, she's like the original Tyra victim from the way that I named this live stream. Obviously, Tyra hasn't been doing this over 100 years. You know, maybe she's a sexy vampire. Maybe she has been doing this for 100 years, but y'all know what I mean now. You're in here in the live stream. So I think that for the sake of this video, it's safe to compare this woman to Miss J, and you'll see what I mean. So let me put them together. Miss J. Does everybody know who Miss J is? He's the walking coach on America's Next Top Model. Hi, Susie. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I really appreciate y'all coming up, showing up for this live stream. It's only been 3 years. I'm so glad y'all came. Let's see here. So Anna was a Polish, French, Jewish performer who Ziegfeld discovered in London in 1896. And she was his common law wife and the woman who gave him the idea for the Follies in the first place. She was the reason he became famous. And Ziegfeld's publicity machine was ruthless. He fabricated this story that Anna bathed in gallons of milk every day. And he would stage these milk deliveries and time them for when reporters would arrive at her hotel. And he would orchestrate fake jewelry thefts and kissing contests and anything for headlines with this woman. And Anna eventually realized that he was exploiting her trust. So she started secretly banking money in Europe, hiding her money away a little bit at a time. I think that every woman who's been, I don't want to say every woman, but I think that a lot of women who've been married, you know, kind of know to have that emergency stash for just in case this thing doesn't work out, just in case he acts up. So that's what she was doing. And super dark part, Anna had a daughter named Leanne who later claimed that Ziegfeld forced Anna to have an abortion because he didn't want her pregnancy interfering with a show. And so when he started sleeping with the teenager, Lillian Lorraine, let me show you who she is. Lillian Lorraine, let me show you. I believe I have her in the next slide. So he started sleeping with this girl while he was in his common law marriage with her, right? So when he started sleeping with the teenager, Lillian, in 1909, Anna held on and she was hoping that he would come back, but he didn't. But then he eventually married Billy Burke instead. So let me show you who Billy Burke is. Let's see. So that's Lillian. And let's see. Hold on. Let me. Okay. So yeah, we'll run it down. But this is who he's cheating with, right? So we'll talk about her. Okay. We'll come back. So Billy Burke, y'all, just so you know, let me show you one more thing. Okay. Does she look familiar to you all? She might not because she's much younger here, but she's Glinda, the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz. Just a little thing about her. But let's get back to the wife. Okay. So Anna went back to vaudeville and she became a World War I heroine because she was visiting, the troops, Allied trenches. And then she collapsed on stage in 1918 and she died of multiple myeloma, like a type of blood cancer. And she was 46 at the time. And Ziegfeld, the man who she made famous, never visited her on her deathbed. Y'all see why I have the picture there now. He never visited her on her deathbed. He skipped her funeral, claiming that he had a phobia about death. Now, that may or may not have been true, but the woman who created his empire died without him even showing up. Now, do we see where I'm going with this parallel? Okay, I'm not saying that Miss J is dead, and I'm certainly not wishing for his death. But if you watch the documentary, then I'm sure that you can see the parallel between Miss J and Ziegfeld's wife, Anna. He wouldn't visit her on his deathbed, and Tyra, according to Miss J, has not visited him in the hospital since he had his stroke and then was in a coma for several weeks, I believe 5 weeks, they said. And so, another parallel, Anna gave Ziegfeld the concept for the Follies, just like America's Next Top Model judges and the creative team built the show's identity. Now, I'm not saying that Miss J created the show. It was definitely, Tyra's brainchild, if you will. But the show, like, I think that everyone probably agrees who fell in love with the show that it would not have been the same without the Jays and Nigel later, right? So he was definitely a part of the foundation of the show. And same for whether you're talking about Anna or whether you're talking about Miss J, when they were no longer useful to these people we're talking about, specifically Miss J in this case, in order to draw the parallel, they were cut loose. And we watched Tyra on that documentary, not really open up about why she was able to just kind of let that friendship go so easily, or just kind of discard this man. So let me go to the comments and then I'll move on to the next person. Let's see here. What are y'all saying? We got new people in here. Let's see. Hello, 13. Miss Turner, I think. No, you can't blame her for it all, but she had a responsibility to ensure that those who came after her didn't have to go through some of the same things that she may have encountered. I think that that's fair. I agree. And we're going to talk about more of it. I'm going to go through one more parallel to draw from the Ziegfeld Follies, and then we're going to just talk about the documentary because I kind of have a feeling that's what y'all want to get into. So let's see here. Hello, stars above the Emerald Forest. How are you doing tonight? Stacy says, I love seeing you live. Your personality is so fire. Thank you. I appreciate that. A fire personality. That's what I want to have, y'all, because one day my beauty is going to be gone. Okay, let's see here. Mayeen says, I hope Miss J can walk again. Yeah, I do too. H. Bippy is here. Hello. How are you doing, beautiful? I don't think I've ever seen you in a live. You've been around so long. And listen, I appreciate everyone's support. I truly do. Alicia says, amen. I think that she's saying amen to my opinion being right. And now she changes her mind. She says it is Tyra's fault. No, of course, I'm messing with her. Let's see. True Crazy Lion says, I never go to bed at the right time. It's 1:20 a.m. here in Scotland. This feels like early evening for me. It works out well because I get to watch great live streams like this. Win-win. Well, I appreciate it. Don't be upset with me in the morning if you have to get up early for work, but I do appreciate it. Deborah says, it's there an industry other full of predators? Like, I guess, are you asking, like, is there another industry that's full of predators like this? I think, like, probably people would. Do y'all think like the entertainment industry across the board, not just modeling, is full of predators like this? Or are we grouping the entertainment industry in with this? What are some other industries that you all say are full of predators like this? Hey, just me, another member. Thank you for your support. Timely chat with that old dude who owned Victoria's Secret and his creepy friends. There's always a madam of some kind involved somewhere. I do agree with that. Hello from, I guess that's New York. Is it Anika? Penica? Let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. Just give me the phonetic spelling and I'll do my best to get it right. I'm with it, but please change the title. Tyra wasn't even born in 1907. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? No, I appreciate you for coming. Let's see. They wait 20 years. And hi, Kay. It's just pathetic. And Christine says, I love how knowledgeable you are. It's beautiful. Thank you. Well, I did some research. Like, I don't remember everything. And so I have my notes here, right, to help get me through this. But I thought about this and I couldn't help it but talk about it, because I've been wanting to live stream, but I don't want to, make things too funky on my channel, because I like talking about current stuff. But now I have a history channel, I've pivoted the content. So, like, how can I talk about this trending thing, but still bring in what I'm supposed to be doing to the channel? It's a fine line I'm walking with these live streams, but let's see here. Stars Above the Emerald Forest says, Tyra did all that crying about how Naomi was mean to her, only to do the same to the young women on her show. Maybe there's a reason Naomi treated her that way. She knew Tyra was a bully. Maybe so. Maybe so. Good old Flo. Hearing about Miss J, I was so heartbroken. Yeah, that was, I hated that for him. Exclusively Elusive. Hello, Exclusively Elusive, and thank you for being a member. I truly appreciate you. Mayeen says, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I appreciate it. Andrea is back. Hello, Ty. Oh, look at, she's got our magnifying glasses, y'all. Put some magnifying glasses in the chat if you're a historian. We're just nosy people who like history. That's all that it means. No, there's nothing bad. Willie says, I'm kind of obsessed over your show. Well, hello. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate y'all. I'm trying to serve y'all better. I'm still working on the 2 pieces of content that I wanted to get out for this month. I've been putting up compilations because I realized that, a lot of people are not necessarily familiar with some of my older content. So I've been putting up a lot of compilations, and it's not because I'm trying to be lazy, y'all. I have a business that I run, a YouTube related business, and I have clients, and I didn't have all this going on just, a year and a half ago. And so I'm trying my best to keep up with everything. And, but I'm working on 2 new pieces that I hope y'all are going to love. But in the meantime, I do miss live streaming with y'all. I just had to get the nerves up to do it again, because I told y'all why at the beginning. It was hard, but I'm so glad y'all are here and receiving me in this live stream. Now I'm sort of here by accident. So the post happy to be here, though. Well, I appreciate it. I'll take an accidental, person being here. And that is, look, that's one of my members too. Debbie is in the house. Hey, Debbie. Look, if y'all are, sexy after 60 and into your weight loss bag, go and check out Debbie's channel. Debbie, you can feel free to put your channel information in the chat. Anyone here who has a channel, always feel free to come to my chat and promote your channel. Something I've never had a problem with from day one, no matter how small or big my channel was. That's I've always been okay with y'all doing. So just, but, at least say hi to me, but, feel free if you got a channel. Crocheting Yia. So, did I get it right? Says she did not value the friendships. Yeah. Anika said, feels like 2 decades. How long was it actually, right? We know there's 24 cycles, but I'm guessing it was somewhere like around maybe 10 to 13 years. Does that sound right, y'all? I'm not sure. True Crazy Lion says, I first became aware of Tyra 20 years ago when I first watched America's Next Top Model. It used to be a show on Living TV channel in the UK. I liked her. She came across quite sweet on TV. Yeah, I thought so for a while. One of those things that we're going to talk about let me know that, nah, she wasn't. Debbie says, my beauty will never be gone. Debbie, you're so sweet. At least my inner beauty, I hope, right? I know that time goes on and, you can't have it forever. It's all good. Your messy inner relationship videos had me in a chokehold. It was so messy. I enjoyed that, and those videos didn't get a ton of views when I put them out, but sometimes just, and this is a tip for everybody here who's a YouTuber, sometimes just repackaging a video, putting it in a compilation, you never know, it can help a video take off. So this is let me just throw and put on my business hat right now. If you're a YouTuber and you have a video that's performing well in terms of watch time, but it doesn't have a lot of views, so that lets you know that people are interested in your video,
it could just be that and when I say packaging, I mean the title and the thumbnail. Could just be that your title and your thumbnail are off. Give that a retool and put that, on the video and watch, see if it takes off a little. Slightly off topic. Has anyone read Mr. J's book? I have not read it. The Wig, the Bitch, and the Meltdown. I didn't realize that it was called. Pretty interesting read. That's from Mayeen. So we got a book review from Mayeen. Says y'all check that out. Let's see, and I'll ignore when y'all are talking to each other because Kay is talking to True Crazy Lion. Epstein is why they're talking about this now. Do you think so? I don't know. Your Titanic series was absolutely the best. Thank you. And I'm going to be adding on to that. My goal is every year for Titanic week, which is, April, like that second week of April, basically, when Titanic sank, is to give you all a new Titanic passenger scandal. So you will have a new Titanic video this year. True Crazy Lion says, all good. I don't have to work in the morning. Okay, so it's okay. So we can have a slumber party then. I don't know if Michelle is still here, but Michelle in Spain, the one who gave me the tips for this live stream, she loves the slumber party. I have my membership, and she comes to my slumber parties. Let's see here. What are y'all saying? Y'all have some more comments for me. Let's see. Okay, we got True Crazy Lion. Is it Lala Dash? Tell me if because I could be like breaking it up in the wrong place. I'm glad to be able to have caught this live. One of the few lives I've been able to catch, girly. Oh, love your topic about yesterday. Thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to catch it. Yes, y'all put those magnifying glass in the chat. The magnifying glass is our mascot here. Let's see. Please do a series on George Bolt. Oh gosh, y'all, I will take all of the suggestions y'all have and eventually get to them. I have enough topics to get me through the year. I gotta pick up my work pace. Just came in. Have you talked about Jay Manuel's victim tour? Not yet, Ashtray Bish. But we're going to get there. I just got to get through these comments. I thought he was going to say tomatoes or tomatoes. I miss it. Hey, T Grooves. T Grooves is here. Longtime supporter. It's so good to see your face, y'all. I'm so glad that I am like overwhelmed that so many of you came. I caught a live. Yes, you did just anticipate. I am so glad that y'all are here. Y'all have no idea. Like, I've been kind of sweating it all weekend because I knew that I wanted to do this today. And I miss streaming with y'all. Who was here when I was doing Sunday Fun Days every week? And and we were doing the Florida Man stories, the Guess the Race stories, the playing our music games, giving away money. Y'all, we were having a blast. I miss those times. And I would get like the best emails from y'all just saying that people letting me know all kinds of personal things y'all were going on and saying that this was like just a time where y'all come and unwind before it was time to get back to work on Monday and just have some fun. And I miss doing that for y'all, but I had to get to where I could do it again because I was going to do my own things, but y'all just send me the most beautiful emails. And so I miss that. Just me said, I just watch your interracial marriage hot mess parts 1 and 2. Always enjoy history's hot messes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that. Dancing Goyles. The Dancing Goyles. Let's see here. Okay, Debbie and Michelle are talking to each other. They're both members of mine. Hola, Michelle. Of course you're still up. Of course she's still awake. Hey, Jazzy Sunflowers. She says hello to everyone. I love your videos and appreciate all your research. Thank you so much. Y'all, the research part is my favorite phase of the video making process. And as we speak, I'm live streaming from my laptop, and I have over 90 tabs open of research for the next 2 stories that I wanted to bring you all this month. I might not get them out this month. I will get to writing on the first story that I wanted to bring y'all. I've written a lot of it, but I've got to record it. I'll probably send this one to my editor. I don't know, but anyway, y'all, the research is my favorite part, and I get lost in that. And I just start to digging, and I'm like, oh, but they're going to want to know this. They should need to know this thing too.
they should know everything. And I can never just like make a simple 20-minute video because I want to tell y'all everything. And then it's like, after I have all the research, it's like, now who's going to write this? And then after I write, I'm like, okay, who's going to say this? Like, I just want to hire a voiceover artist because like, I'm going to be talking forever, right? Okay, so I guess she's saying that I got the name right, Lala Dash. Okay, I like that name. I look forward to Titanic Week every year. I always observe the anniversary of the voyage and commemorate the victims. That's very sweet. I love that. I love that. Vargas. The painter, the artist. Guess the race. Yes, man. Look, we had crazy times. No one, like, you can't take yourself super seriously if you're going to be around my channel, right? So sometimes it was a Black person, sometimes it was a white person, sometimes it was a Latino. We didn't come across any Asian people yet. We were guessing like the races of a lot of criminals or whatever, but we just come here to have fun. And so yes, it sounds crass, but we were just having a good time. People like Vargas Girl said this. Yeah, yes, it's a thing. Yes, please press the like button if you haven't. Thank you, just me. What a wonderful suggestion, if you will. Yes, honey, a pajama party. Let's see. When I say look forward to Titanic Week, I mean commemorate it. Yes, it's always a significant event in the calendar for me. The anniversary of the tragedy. Yeah, we didn't think you were over there like celebrating True Crazy Lion. We don't think you're that crazy. We know you're crazy lion. We know you're not that crazy. Hi, Shabette. How are you doing? Hello and welcome. Okay, Lala Dash says thank you. So let's get back to the last comparison and then we can get into the meat of this documentary. All right. So there's another comparison that I want to draw. And let me pull up something here. Actually, let me close this window. Forgive me and all my notes, y'all. I wanted to bring this to you. I thought about doing it as another video, but I'm like, then I'm just going to be behind some more even because there's so many. Oh gosh, y'all, there's so many video topics that I want to bring you. Okay, let me go in here and look at my notes. I want to be sure that I'm using the right name for the people. I don't want to tell you wrong. Okay. So let's go back here to my notes and we'll get into the next comparison. Okay, Lillian Lorraine. So we had looked at her. Let me go back to the slideshow. Okay, so Lily, right? The one who was the mistress. Okay. Oh, she says, I get it. Sounds like a game I play. Yeah, you are one of us. Yes, we are truly mestorians. We are truly mestorians here. Okay, so, and you know what, y'all, if there's someone y'all want me to live stream with, let me know. There's like a creator that you think it would be cool for me to live stream with. I have some ideas. There's some people I love to play with on YouTube, and I haven't live streamed in a while. So I figured I better come on by myself first. I thought about asking a couple people I know to live stream with me, but I knew that I would be leaning on them as crutches if I were to come back with them. So we'll do that later. We can have a lot more fun here. But Lillian Lorraine, and I have someone I'm going to compare her to as well. I'll go on and let you know who I'm going to compare her to from the America's Next Top Model universe. Let me scoot around. So we got, that's Glinda the Good Witch from what did I say? Wizard of Oz. Okay. But do y'all remember this lady from America's Next Top Model? They didn't really talk about her in the documentary, I don't believe, but that's Jael. Can't remember which season she was in. If you know, let me know. But let's talk about this. So Ziegfeld discovered Lillian when she was around 16 years old. He was 41 at this time. And he pulled this teenager from the chorus line. He made her a star. He made her his mistress, and he commissioned a nude portrait of her. He was in love with her. One biographer wrote that he was, quote, insanely in love with her for the rest of his life. And quite naturally, they had a chaotic relationship. Eventually, she married another man, kind of impulsively, and that man got into a fight with Ziegfeld outside of a restaurant, and she ended up filing for an annulment, claiming that her husband had kept her prisoner in their home. And so after she got her annulment, she returned to the Follies. And then in 1921, she fell outside of a nightclub and shattered her vertebrae in her spine, shattered like in multiple places, I guess, and it left her in chronic pain for the rest of her life, you can imagine. And by then, she was also already deeply into alcoholism, and her career stalled, and she nearly died in 1928 from a burst appendix. And then in 1941, she started a fire in her own apartment and was hospitalized in a psychiatric ward. And then on April 17th in 1955, Lillian Lorraine, who was once called the most beautiful actress in the world, died in obscurity. Only 3 people attended her funeral, and she was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave, a poor person's grave. So the comparison to Jael, I compared them, like obviously Jael was a little bit older. She was cast on America's Next Top Model when she was 22. But during filming, her close friend, you all might remember if you watched her season, died of a heroin overdose. And hours later, production made her pose as a corpse on a bed for a photo shoot. I'm pretty sure that I put that in my slide. Let me put that slide up. Yeah, so there she is. Yeah, she just found out that her friend died. So here's production. Ooh, you know what would be a great idea? A dead pose. Like, yeah, let's have you girls pose like you're dead. Maybe like you died of a heroin overdose. You know, gosh, they were sick on this show. She said that she felt exploited by the show, believe it or not. Of course she did. And after America's Next Top Model, she spiraled into meth addiction and she ended up homeless. And her family staged an intervention on Dr. Phil in 2012, where she literally ran from the camera saying that she was being exploited again. And Carrie D. English, okay, that was cycle 7. Carrie D., y'all remember, who won cycle 7, she publicly said that Tyra would not do anything to help Jael. And Carrie D. also said that the show should have evaluated Jael more before casting her. But they all, in her words, saw, all they saw was a personality good for television. That's what Carrie D. said. And Jael did eventually get sober, 5 years clean. And then in October 2018, she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and she died only 2 months later at age 34. And her funeral expenses were covered by a GoFundMe that raised about $20,000. Y'all want to know what Tyra Banks did for her? Not that she necessarily owed her anything, but Tyra tweeted a tribute. Tyra tweeted a tribute to Jael. She could have easily have covered those funeral expenses, but it wasn't her fault that Jael got breast cancer. But I'm just saying, like, a tweet, it's almost like doing nothing would have been less insulting than that tweet. And so here's that tweet right now. You might not be able to see, I don't know how well you can see it. It says, this page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. So that tweet was like linked in multiple news outlets. So Deadline, E! News, Pop Culture, Nikki Swift, all quoted and documented this tweet from December 5th, 2018. So it existed once. It was reported on, and now it's gone. I went to pull up the tweet so that I could show you all and put it in the slideshow, but that is what happens now. You can go and find articles about this on all those places that I just read, and you'll see the link. But when you click on it, this is what you're going to get. So either Tyra or somebody on Tyra's team was like, maybe this wasn't a great idea. So let me go back to their pictures just so that you have, something to look at here. Back to the parallels. Both women were chosen because they were magnetic and they were, I guess, like made for good spectacle. And both were chewed up and spit out. by a system that valued entertainment over value and over their well-being. And they both struggled with addiction after being discarded. And they both died without the person who profited the most from their image doing much of anything to help them. Lillian got 3 mourners at her funeral. Not one of them was Ziegfeld, and she got a pauper's grave. And Jael got a GoFundMe and a tweet that is now deleted from Tyra. So, the system doesn't have an aftercare plan. It didn't have one in 1921, and it didn't have one in 2012, apparently. So, what do y'all have to say about that? Tyra's tweet is gone. At least Ziegfeld's absence from Anna's funeral, or from, I'm sorry, I don't want to say her name wrong, from Lillian's funeral, at least it's permanent for the historical record, right? But not Tyra's tweet. So what do y'all have to say about that? Let me see here. Let me go back. Oh, okay. Respectfully requesting more lives. I'm going to try to do this every Sunday, y'all. So I'll be on the lookout for things that are trending that I can, take back into history so that I can make it make sense for this channel, right? So I had put out a post earlier this week just saying like, hey, if y'all can think of things that y'all want me to talk about that make sense for a live stream, I'm talking about like format, in terms of formats and I can do weekly, let me know. And everyone gave me like good video topic ideas and good things to talk about, but not what like I kind of needed. And so this is just something that I came up with off the top of my head. I'm glad that you all are receiving it well. But so now that you all see kind of what my format is, if you see something going on, if you see something, say something. If you see something happening in real time and you're like, hey, Ty, like, even if you don't have a historical reference, if you're like, hey, Ty, like, can you find something that was like this 100 years ago? Let me know and I'll do my best. Because I don't do the best job of keeping up with what's happening currently, because I'm usually like digging up into history to try to get content out. But if you find something like, hey, like Ty, there's got to be something that happened like this 100 years ago, let me know. Because like part of the whole reason that I do this channel is to show that history repeats itself. When your grandmother's telling you that, oh, you kids today, y'all are so crazy, we would never do this in my day, you can tell her, you're a lying grandma, tell her nicely. We don't want grandma popping you in the mouth or anything. But, you tell her, like, there's nothing new under the sun. And that's the whole point of this. Like, there's nothing that's happening now that hasn't happened at some point before in some form. And I just like making, the connection. Like, I think it draws us closer to history. History doesn't have to be boring. Okay. Yes, we get you. We get you, True Crazy Lion. You're in the right tribe. She looks like Barbara Stanwyck. Exclusively, Elisa says. Okay, I just joined. Please announce them beforehand so we can set aside time to watch. I will do that. And I posted like, I think about an hour before I was going to start this one. And I realized that's not a ton of notice. So I'll try to keep it like on Sundays, hopefully start a little bit earlier than I did, today. I had a meeting with Michelle before this live stream started, and I don't have what I'm doing in my membership on Sundays now, most Sundays. So maybe I can start this like a little bit earlier on Sundays so that we can all get to bed at a decent time. How do y'all feel about that? Let's see. Oh, just me says creepy. Is it me or do they look alike? It's not just you. Now that I didn't even pay attention to it. I was just trying to get ready for the live stream. I wasn't really, like, because I put this all together like this afternoon, up until like right before we were getting ready to start. I did, gel my edges down so that y'all wouldn't be able to see my gray hair so much. And I put on a little bit of lip color so I could look presentable for y'all. I'm still in a t-shirt, but I wanted to, look halfway presentable for y'all. So I was busy getting beautiful. I didn't have time to, didn't have time to go over everything the way that I probably should have. But yeah, I do see it. That's a really good observation. And even their poses like similar. The way that their faces, in this particular photo. I just love her big bunny. Y'all know I love animals. I'm an animal lover. Susie says, I love you, Ty. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all know that. Dirty old man. Yeah. 41 and 16. Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, ma'am. That rabbit is huge or that person is tiny. I cannot figure out which. And I would imagine it's a little bit of both, right? Because Jael was already, I mean, all those girls, regardless of what Tyra says about Kenya, all those girls are pretty thin when they come on that show. And then you can imagine after being diagnosed with breast cancer, I'm sure she lost a lot of weight, and then she had been on meth before. That is also a tiny person. That is a big bunny. I love animals. I remember that photo shoot. She was so distraught. Yeah, like, how could she not be? Right? How could she not be, Stacy? Jazzy Sunflower says they were diabolical. They were. They were. And Andrea says, oh, wow. Yeah. Maine says, and that was the second time that coincidence occurred on the show. I appreciate the quotes. Mm-hmm. I love you inviting us to share our YouTube channels here. I think that's very kind. I have a second channel where I started posting videos about Formula One racing. It's dormant right now, though. Share the channel with us. You never know what the interests are here. Share that information. If y'all just got here, if y'all are new to me, if you have a channel, feel free to let us know what your channel is. You never know who's here, who might be interested in what you do. That's how I've always done my live streams. Yeah, Susie says there's nothing new under the sun. No lie, nothing. Wow. Yeah, okay, y'all think y'all were talking about the funeral, I think. Yeah, 20,000 for a funeral. Well, that's what they raised. And I mean, that's not extremely extravagant. I mean, a decent, funeral just to kind of get someone in the ground, nicely is going to be about 10. And so considering that she was on a show, with such a big audience, 20,000 seems, pretty reasonable, I would say. Exclusively, Lucy says, wow, thanks. And Cancer Moon, hi Cancer Moon, says just foul. I agree. Wow, that's horrible. It is. It really is. This reminds me of the show Shining Girls. The women get used and exploited, then discarded. I've never seen that. Is it a new show or is it something old? I don't watch a lot of stuff, believe it or not, y'all. One thing that I was thinking about for the live stream format was watching some period show and coming here and talking about it. I will say, y'all be ready for whenever they announce season 4 of the Gilded Age. I am going to live stream about the Gilded Age this season. That's something that I wanted to do last season that it came on. I was so glad that we got a season 3. We're greenlit for a season 4. I love the show. Y'all saw that I was putting out content about it, but I just wasn't ready to live stream yet. But this year, whenever we get our season 4, I will be live streaming. I think that what I'm going to do is live stream like maybe the hour before the show comes on. And then, and so I'll always be like 1 week behind. So I'll probably, for when the season premiere comes on, maybe I'll live stream the hour before, but I'll do a recap of what happened in season 3. And then I'll just be like an episode behind every time. I think that's what I'll do. Have you ever heard of The Great Ziegfeld? It was a heavily sanitized biopic that won Best Picture Oscar. No, or if I have heard of it, I haven't watched it. And y'all have given me so many movie and TV suggestions. I should probably write that down. Let me write that down. I know, and I have never watched Citizen Kane. Y'all giving me a lot of shows. Y'all can keep them coming, and I'll catch up eventually because it's homework for me, right? The documentary did more harm than good with her. True colors come out with fame, no matter the era. Yes, crocheting. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Old heads. We were more civilized in our day. Ty. This you? Right.
Back in my day, no. Yeah, absolutely not. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, they do look alike. That was a really good observation. Hey, Pink Panther, how are you doing? Nice to see you here, lovely lady. Di, I've never seen you with any gray hair at any time, and you look gray hair. I have a head full of gray hair, y'all. I started getting gray hair when I was in grade 6. Since I was a preteen. Yes, I'm so late. I'll read the room. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. There, we don't take attendance here, y'all. I'm just happy that someone came. Hi, B Valdez. How are you doing? Yes. See, someone loves Formula One. I believe that's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Thank you. I see it down there. I work for the channel Tico and the Man, singing parrot and human guitarist. Okay, that sounds very interesting because I do love. Oh, the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers. Did I try to start watching that? I have that written down. I want to think that I pulled that up. Okay, let me write it down. I know that I try. Yeah. Okay, the crocheting Yaya. Thank you. Oh, I love the Gilded Age. I think I found your channel while looking for videos about that time period. Awesome. Yeah, like y'all, we're going to be ready for that this season. I started getting gray hair when I was 26. To see if you get it before 30. Oh, okay. You're saying that they say that you get it before 30, that means you're blessed and you have good luck. I'll take it. um, okay, since Ty so graciously invited us all to leave our channels, I'd love you to drop by if it resonates and come back. Okay, so Michelle has the Michelle McCann experience. Now, on YouTube, you might be able to make that a link here. Obviously, I can only put your comments on the screen. I can't like highlight them, but put those channel names in there. That does not bother me at all. Uh, let's see. Yeah, True Crazy Line. You got somebody asking, "What's your Formula One channel?" Oh yeah, Connie's always posed with hot cars too. That's right. Okay, so now y'all, let's just have an open discussion. Are there things that you all want to talk about? Because I had a feeling that you all would kind of want to get to, you know, the shandy of it all from that documentary. I kind of had a feeling that you all might want to talk about Miss Tiffany and Tyra never having yelled at a girl like that. I kind of thought that you all might want to talk about Kenya, the size 2 girl who was just way too fat. Those, like, I kind of seemed like the big 3 stories, like at least from that documentary. I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out. We're just having a discussion at this point. But it's worth pointing out, that in the documentary, Tyra essentially says that the audience demanded bigger spectacles. So she kept, the show kept pushing. And Ziegfeld used that exact same logic. When his shows got more risque, when the costumes got skimpier, and when the stunts got more extreme, he would just point to the ticket sales. But look, we're selling tickets. The same way that Tyra pointed to TV views and ratings. Look, the ratings are through the roof because the audience wanted it, right? What Tyra said, you guys wanted it. That's why she kept doing it. And one critic noted that audiences went to the Follies to discover exactly, it's worded like this, that to discover where the exact limit of propriety has moved. That's why they were going to the Follies, because whatever the limit was, he was pushing it there. And so in 1919, the chorus girls in the Ziegfeld shows went on strike with the Actors Equity Association, and they were arguing that they should be paid for extra performances beyond what that they should be paid extra for performances beyond what their contracts specified. And Ziegfeld fought them. He got injunctions. He tried to break the strike. He argued that because he paid higher salaries than the other producers, that his performers should just be grateful. And that sounds like Tyra, just like
the top model contestants, they were told that they should be grateful for the opportunity, right? Even though, you know, I don't know, the show extracted enormous value from their images and from their emotions and their bodies, and they got even the winners got contracts that essentially led to nowhere. Like even Tyra in that documentary, I think that she rattled off 4, maybe 5 names of people who she could say like were successful after having been on America's Next Top Model after 22 cycles of all those girls going in and out of that show. And so let me just let you know what happened to Ziegfeld in the end. He lost his fortune in the 1929 crash, like a lot of people did, but he died broke in 1932. And on his deathbed, he went delirious and he was shouting out stage directions for an imaginary show. His last words, apparently, reportedly, were, "Looks good, looks good." Like he's saying something about that's happening on a stage that was not there, a stage that did not exist. Still performing, still producing in his mind, even as his life was ending. And so now I just have a question, and we're going to get into everything. Will Tyra Banks clean up her act for this cycle 25 that she's threatening us with? This cycle 25 that none of us are asking for? Or will her final words be, "You are still in the running towards becoming America's Next Top Model," when she loses her damn mind? Because if y'all have seen her antics down there in Australia with this alter ego she has that sounds like, I don't know, some random black person from New Orleans, when Santa coming down to get the cookies, he not eating the cookies. He like y'all and selling her freaking hot ice cream. What is that? Is that what's in store for her? The cycle of Ziegfeld's entertainment career and Tyra's have shared a lot of similarities. So who knows? Maybe she will clean up her act, or I don't know. We'll know how her story comes full circle maybe around 2035. I don't know. It's not a prediction. I'm just saying. It seems like everybody has to pay eventually. But anyway, I'm no fool. I know that y'all want to talk about Shandy and Tiffany in Kenya. So let's sound off. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah, StreamYard is weird about how it shows these, but I always want to acknowledge my super chats. Thank you so much. Rothy. Thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all, I haven't seen some of these names in a long time. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all, I'm just glad that y'all are here. Trust me. Trust me. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very generous of you. Let's see here. Cotton Candy says, "Hi, Ty and Chad. I can't believe I caught a live. I love how you're showing messy history repeating itself." So are y'all down? Like, this is what I plan to do every Sunday now. It's going to be some work for me to make the parallels. But if y'all want to do this again, like I have some more from Ziegfeld that I could do with Top Model, or maybe I could find another Top Model parallel, because I have a feeling people are going to be talking about this for a while. There's another documentary coming out about Top Model that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. Looks like it's going to have a little bit more information. Stacey wants to talk the Shandy of it all and Tiffany. Y'all, any comments? Because I have thoughts on that. If I'm not mistaken, the rabbit is called a Libra, and they're much interesting, larger than a normal rabbit. I did not know that. Let's see here. So what are y'all saying? Is he giving the channel name? I've been an F1 fan since I was 5. Watched over 600 races live. Wow. Kenya was gorgeous, and they were awful to her. Yes. Yeah, they were very awful to Kenya. We can talk about it. Let's see. Breathless Kindness. I was trying to act and model at that time, and what was said on the show was way nicer than what I was told at 14. That doesn't mean Tyra in this doc couldn't have been a little more apologetic. And I think you're being generous to say a little more apologetic, because I didn't see her being apologetic at all, unless I missed something. It's sad, because it's sad to see how reality TV has ruined so many lives. I agree, Yaya. Look, DC, Kool-Aid, and Lisa, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? I haven't seen y'all in forever. This is like a little YouTube family reunion. Were the Ziegfeld girls paid well or scraps? Um, is it okay to say not well enough? Like, they were paid enough to make a living. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because there was a woman from season 9 who said that they were paid. She's written a book, and I didn't save her name when I saw it. Shoot, I think it's Sarah. They were paid $38 a day on Top Model. Like, so, like, like, you go on reality TV now, and you're probably going to get like 1,500 an episode, like enough to kind of help at least offset your salary. Like, if you had to take away from work to be on the set of some show, like, you're going to get paid decently. But they like got paid like just enough to be able to buy their food. And she said that they didn't even have a microwave for those girls. And so this is one of the contestants. And are you all familiar with, there's a young lady on YouTube, Jessica, her last name starts with a K. I can't pronounce her last name, but she's a professional photographer, and she recaps a lot of the old America's Next Top Model episodes from the standpoint of a professional photographer. And she interviewed the young lady who I'm talking about right now. I can't think of the contestant's name, but she interviewed her. And I just can't think of her name. But and Jessica has over 1 million subscribers. She was also featured in the documentary. There were a lot of influencers and content creators who were surprised to see their faces show up in the documentary, and Jessica was one of them. I can't remember her name. I'm so mad the ANTM contestants were not paid and were abused so much. Yeah, like those girls weren't, so like they weren't paid. That they were, essentially there for free. Let's see here. Hi, Lita says that she also didn't help Danielle because she didn't want to. You know what? Can we talk about that? Let's talk about that, because here, okay. I'll share with you all my thoughts about on all of these situations. Okay, so Danielle, let's see. I have a picture of her only back here with Joni. There. Okay, so that's Danielle. So anyone who isn't super familiar with the show, Danielle is the black one. Listen, like I said, you can't be sensitive about it. There are people who like are afraid to say the words black and white if you're talking about someone. Like, if you don't know who you're talking about, it's kind of like one of the easiest ways to start to describe someone. So like, that's like why it's weird to me when I like will hear a newscast and they'll be like, the assailant is 6 feet tall and weighs about 280 pounds, and he was wearing a gray shirt. Was he black? Was he white? Was he brown? Was he like, can we like what? Like, people gotta stop being so sensitive. Some things just are what they are. And y'all, it's literally weird to not just say what it is. So Danny is the black one. The white lady in the chair is Joni. Both of these young girls, young women, were told that they needed dental work. And this is something that I also picked up on, Lita, with this. So if you'll remember in their cycle, which I think was cycle 5, possibly cycle 6, if you remember in their cycle, these two also were the last two standing. And that also kind of made me think, okay, so with these makeovers, and this was also the first time that we ever had dental work done, we kind of are getting a little more behind the scenes information than we'd ever gotten before. And it looks like, the winners are selected at the beginning, that whoever's going to be. And so it makes sense that they would invest all of this money into their makeover and not their makeovers and not the other girls, if they knew that it was going to come down to Danny or maybe Danny or Joni that, okay, so we're going to send them to the dentist, which this dentist, by the way, who the F is this dentist who is like showing up to do midnight dental surgery and not actually correct the, the orthodontal issues that's going on with this girl. They just messed up Joni's mouth. And Danielle, yeah, I believe that she didn't help Danielle because she didn't want to. Like, who takes 15 years to tell someone, hey, by the way, I know you weren't getting any work. I knew that you wouldn't, girl. Like, what? Tyra has got to be some kind of psychopath. Like, what's going on? The Netflix documentary is produced by Tyra or executive produced. Imagine if it was done without her knowledge or permission. So, no, it wasn't. Pink Panther, the Netflix doc was not produced by Tyra, which is why people were so surprised that she was willing to sit down and have a talk, because she does like to be in control of her narrative from what everyone can see. So no, she had no hand in producing this, but apparently she did get paid. And I believe, and I don't know if this is true, but I from what I've heard, the Jays and Nigel got paid. Everyone who was a part of it did not get paid. So I don't know if any of the former contestants, models got paid. I don't know if any of them got paid, but I hope that at least some of them did. But this looks like another one of those classic top model situations where the ones who got paid, and the models got screwed once again. Is kind of what it sounds like. Yeah, karma for Ziegfeld. Karma. Just Me says, it's always a bitch and comes for us all. Yeah, like we can't escape it. It's kind of like that movie, Final Destination, like death, karma, whatever, same thing, Yeah, I, I won't be there for a Cycle 25. And the best way that people can show that we don't want a Cycle 25 is to not watch it. I'm sure that some people are going to hate watch. I'm sure that some people are going to watch out of curiosity. I'm sure that some people are going to watch out of sheer support for Tyra. But I would have been inclined to say that I would consider it if she had sat in that documentary and taken accountability for anything. But according to her, hey, y'all wanted all this stuff that I did. I didn't know any better. And it doesn't sound like she knows any better now. So, like, are we about to get, or are they, because not me, I'm not watching, are they about to get a Cycle 25 of the same BS? Are they about to see this happen again to some people in 2026? Another crop of young girls not getting paid and getting screwed over and getting a portfolio when they leave the show that they cannot use to take to any professional agency. Because all of those girls, imagine. So again, Tyra told us that we were getting this inside look into what it's like, what it takes to be a model. And they have all these crazy ass photo shoots. Hey girl, you're an elephant this week. Oh, okay, you're dead this week, and you're one of the 7 deadly sins this week. You've been shot in the head this week. So imagine this is your portfolio, because you think that, hey, Tyra Banks, the top model in the world, did all of this photo shoot stuff for me. Let me get to New York. Let me hit the pavement and, pound the pavement and go to these agencies. And then you show them this book and they're mortified. Like, okay, well, do you have any headshots? Do you have just a shot of your body? Like, what is all this shit? Right? Like, those girls felt like fools, I'm sure. And we didn't know any better. Like, Tyra told us that this is how it works. But they come up with all these whimsical ass photos that these girls can't use. I hope that this doesn't happen again, but I would say we shall see, but they shall see. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Ashtray bitch, her crazy ass alter ego down there selling hot ice cream and talking like great value Frida, big Frida. She sounds crazy. I don't know what the hell Tyra's doing. I don't know. Yeah, how hot ice cream is nothing but cocoa. Yeah, not according to Tyra. It's not a latte. It's not coffee. It's not hot chocolate. It's hot ice cream. What? Okay, sure, sure. Yeah, there's more to the America's Next Top Model story. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the next documentary that we get.
Okay, so for those of you who are interested in the Formula One, the channel is called Last Lap Lion, LLL. We love alliteration around here. Although I'm thinking about renaming it. I've made a few videos reviewing F1 races a few years ago, but I'm still very green at this. Haha. Hey, we all got to start somewhere. Y'all, I started this channel live streaming from my phone about absolutely nothing to absolutely no one for several weeks before one person finally showed up. His name is Rye Doughboy, and he was the only person who showed up for the next few weeks to my live streams. And then eventually, like 3, 4, 5, 7 people started coming. We all started 0 on YouTube. It's all good. And we don't know anything about how YouTube works when we start. So hopefully that's encouraging. Yeah, Christine. Yes, after this woman made you so much money. A damn shame. Maine says I'm down for another stream. Awesome. Okay, y'all. Same bat channel. I don't know about the same bat time. I'm going to start a little bit earlier next Sunday. Sounds like Tyra has a Sasha Fierce to her Beyonce. Yeah, only it's not fierce. It is insane. Hi, is it Ratio? Is it Ratio? Hi, let me know if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm saying Ratio. Okay, you got a new subscriber, True Crazy Lion. Ashtray Bish says, I think you might be onto something. In order to do the things that she does, she probably needs to dissociate. I hope so. Okay, Jessica K. I'm a photographer as well, and I love hearing her take on it. I do too. Yeah. So Kabasi, is that how you say it, Connie? Okay, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I just don't know how to say her name. I don't want to be disrespectful. I love her channel. No microwave. Yeah, absolutely the fuck not. Like what? No microwave. Where's the documentary streaming? It's streaming on Netflix, Anika. It's on Netflix. Oh, and I'm sorry, Alicia. Hello, Alicia. Alicia's here in the house, and she answered your question before I saw it. I'm just getting to the comments in the order that I see them, y'all. In the order that y'all put them in the chat. So, okay. Yaya says it made me angry that the girls were not heard when they were put in uncomfortable situations with male models. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. That takes us back to Kenya. Takes us back to Kenya, the last slide I have here. Okay, so let's talk about that. I'll tell you my take on the Kenya situation. What became a pattern, that we started to notice was that when these young ladies would speak up for themselves, they would get eliminated. So we had Kenya on a photo shoot. Let me see if I can find her photo shoot, and I'll just share it like on Google. Let's see. Was there an H at the end of her name? Kenya. Yeah, it is. Top model dancing photo shoot. Let's see. Here's a good enough photo. Okay, so let me just share this with you all. Okay, are we looking at? Okay, so y'all see the picture. So this photo shoot. Now the assailant is all the way over to the right. He's out of the frame, but they're in South Africa. They're dancing. These other two dancers are being respectful and just they're dancing. They're models or whatever. But one of and the black one, okay, the black one who was out of the frame, he had been flirting with her on set. She had been, putting off his advances and just, he's like, oh, I want your number. I want to call you later. She's like, I don't have a number. I'm going to talk to you. She's like, I got to get ready for hair and makeup. She's brushing him off. And there's music, there are guys playing drums, and everyone's dancing, and she's supposed to be dancing, and I don't know, another dumb concept, right? But she's dancing and everyone's dancing, and the guy who is
us harassing her, sexually harassing her. He's grabbing like the bottom of her butt, the top of her thighs, and he's clearly erect, and he's moaning and groaning, and so she feels uncomfortable. And so she stops and she's like, yeah, excuse me, I need to say something. I don't feel great. And no one took her seriously. No one took her seriously. Tyra said that she should have just played it out. And she thought, in her words, that she was doing what Tyra would have done: respectfully stop the shoot, not make a scene, but hey, I don't feel comfortable. Tyra said that she should have just played it up. Boy, you better go somewhere with your big head. Yeah, because, guys who are coming on to you when you don't want that, they react very well to that. And they totally get the idea. They totally don't think that you want it if you're just playing with them. Boy, you better stop touching me inappropriately, because that's so funny, right? Yeah, they totally get it. Like, no, if you're going to talk about it, you just need to be very forward and say what it is. Now, the good old days, they would have said, bitch, you ugly anyway. I don't want to talk to you. Those were the good old days. I miss those days, right? Because now when you reject a guy, they want to just shoot you in the head. What do you mean you don't want to talk to me? Filthy whore, and then they kill you. But whatever. So she tried to do the right thing, and everyone told her that she did the wrong thing. Nigel, who sat there and also took no responsibility, everyone was just sitting on the panel agreeing with Tyra. No one said, and there have been times that they push back on what the other one is saying. There have been times that every judge on the panel didn't agree with each other, but on that occasion, nobody stopped Tyra and said, well, Tyra, she should be comfortable on the set. No one did that. And so now, though, today, it's all Tyra. And like the other young lady said, she said that it's not all Tyra's fault. Now, I don't know if she says that Tyra bears any blame. I think the Tyra bears some blame, but not all of it. But it wasn't just Tyra. But yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like that. Maine says, reminds me of the Matt TV skit where the white woman was trying to not call a black person black. Yeah, that's just such a weird thing. So I was in construction project management before I became a full-time content creator. And there was a friend I worked with, an older white man who I love dearly. He got me into running 5Ks and 10Ks. I've never run a marathon, but he used to run the Houston Marathon every year. And he's just like, you're in shape. You need to start running. And so he would like sign me up for runs and like tell me after he signed me up, he's like, hey, go pick up your race packet at such and such. I love this man. But I remember he and his wife loved watching The Amazing Race. And I never got into that show, but he would talk about it. And so sometimes I would watch it with my mom. And one season there was a family on there, or I don't know if it was family or just married couple. At the very least, it was a married couple, but I don't know, whatever. Let's say a couple. And they were black. And he would try to tell me about what happened the night before, blah, blah. And he didn't want to say the black lady. And so he was like, well, the lady, she had like, and the lady, I believe, had like an afro. And he's like, she had like short curly hair. And she was, I said, the black lady? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, Fred. And the ironic thing is, I believe that they were also named Black. I think that like that their last name was Black, because I almost remember like seeing like the Black family, and I was like, whoa, this is very blunt, CBS, but it's like, oh, like that's their name. And so yeah. Anyway, I'm like, Fred, it's okay. Like, I know I'm Black. It doesn't offend me. You can say it. Let's see, Danny and Johnny, dental work done subpar. Oh, I have so much opinion on it. Yeah, and Danny wanting to keep her gap, and Tyra, what? All they're gonna see is this. You can't have a cover girl contract. All they're gonna see is easy, beautiful cover girl. But what did we see also Tyra do? They say 2 or 3 seasons later, when a young white contestant walks in with a gap, Tyra says, I love your teeth. Oh my gosh. We're going to take that gap and widen it. You could be the next Lauren Hutton. Why couldn't Danny be the black Lauren Hutton? Because she liked her gap. Why do we need to close it? It's insane. Tyra, I don't know what some of these decisions were. I hate how they would cut all their hair off and then send them home. Just terrible. Jazzy, that reminds me of something else. So not a cut that I'm thinking of, and I want to get to what you're saying. Not a cut, but the season that they had, and this might have been Danny's season 5 or 6. They had a young lady on from New Orleans, and this is right after Hurricane Katrina. And I think that she was just there for the Katrina storyline, because what like when they do the makeovers, right? You know, sometimes they do go all out. Well, this girl, it looked like they just I can't even explain what they did to her hair. Like maybe they just like gave her like a tight roller set, and she was literally gone right after the makeovers. And to me, that kind of let me know that they weren't planning on keeping her there. They wanted her to talk about how devastated she was from Hurricane Katrina. You know, of course, Tyra's got to ask her, you know, are you still thinking about the hurricane? Yes, bitch. Like, you know, my whole family lost like fucking everything. Yes, I'm still thinking about it. Well, you know, you got to get that out of your head. And so like they didn't really give her a maker. So it kind of like is like maybe it's a clue that when they don't do a whole lot to the girl, that they're just not invested in her. They're gonna just keep her around as long as they need, and then you're gonna be out of here. You know, they didn't go too extreme. But yeah, I hate it when they would cut the girl's hair off. There was that one young white lady who was a pageant girl, and she had long hair, and her hair was, in her opinion, very much tied into her identity and part of her beauty. But Tyra wanted, what did she keep saying? Not a pixie cut, but Mia Farrow in something, Rosemary's Baby. Is that what it was? I never saw the movie. I didn't understand the reference, but they cut most of the girl's hair off, and I was surprised that she let them do that much. And then I was really surprised when it had gone that far and she still didn't get the rest of it cut. But you know, she's got to have her. Everyone's got their point. Yeah, I guess she feels like you've done enough. You've already, in her opinion, she probably felt like she was bald. You know, at that point after having hair down her back, right? Um, but here was why another reason why I hated it, Jazzy, is because you look at all of those photo shoots that they did. How often were they making the girls up and still like putting wigs on them after doing these extreme makeovers? They rarely, or maybe only half the time at most, were in their photo shoots looking like they looked in their makeovers. There was always still extra styling for all these, you know, dumb, whimsical photo shoot ideas that they had. So like, why are we cutting girls' hair? You know, and I have my thoughts about that as well, because if we look at most of Tyra's pictures that we see, Tyra's always in a wig. And I don't know how long she's been wearing wigs, but I mean, for a majority, the majority of her career, she's been in wigs. And I feel like Tyra has a problem with people who have thriving, healthy hair. I do. Now, there was an episode, I remember when Tyra had her talk show. I remember her like wearing her real hair for a while. But she has thin hair. It's not super long. It's not short. Like, you know, she has hair. She's not bald or anything. But when you consider that she had been wearing wigs at this point for well over 10 years, probably 50, you know, well over 10 years, maybe approaching 15 years, you would think that if you'd have your hair hidden away under a wig for all those years, you would just have this big, crazy, flourishing head of hair, and Tyra didn't. So it led me to believe that Tyra's got some jealousy in the way that she allowed Ebony in season 1 to have her hair hacked by these white women who were making fun of Ebony's hair texture and who didn't know how to cut her hair and were saying, were they French or whatever? I don't know. Should we cut our names in it? They're just
these women playing over this Black woman's hair. I felt like Tyra probably went through those things and felt like, well, I shouldn't be the only one who has to go through them. So I'm going to, like what started as this beautiful mission statement, I'm going to show the world that there's all kinds of beauty. It became this revenge thing. And she said, I'm going to get back at the fashion industry. But because she can't really punch up to the fashion industry, she punched down on the girls who came to her show. And so now everything that she wanted to take out on those people who did her wrong, she took it out on those girls who showed up to participate in her show. And I'll add yet another layer to it. Because people quickly point out the issues that it looks like Tyra had with dark-skinned women, and I agree with that. I also think that Tyra had an issue with women who were lighter than she was. So y'all look at me, you'll see I'm medium brown. Some people say that Tyra's light skinned. In my opinion, Tyra's also just brown. She's lighter than I am, but we're both brown, what people would call safe brown, right? Maybe not dark enough to offend anyone. In my opinion, not light enough to be called light skinned, not dark enough to be called dark skinned, but we're brown. I also believe that Tyra had an issue with, it's clear that she had an issue with dark-skinned Black women. That's undeniable in my opinion. I also, though, believe that Tyra had an issue with light-skinned women and biracial women. But I'll say light-skinned just for the sake of this conversation. And here's what I mean. I'm getting a thing on my computer telling me to update. Not right now, please, not right now. So if you notice on, let's say, any random season, if there are two light-skinned women, one of them is going to get to keep her hair. She might even get some extensions. Another one of them is getting most of her hair chopped off. And I remember, do y'all remember there was the season, whatever season it was that they went to Spain? And I remember this because the light-skinned dark girl, I remember her male partner, he told her that he didn't like Black girls when they had to do whatever their commercial. I think that maybe it was for Secret Theater or whatever. That girl, y'all know who I'm talking about? That girl came into the competition saying that she loved her hair, that she felt pretty, and Tyra cut that girl's hair off. And there were a number, if y'all remember Jade, who was, I believe she was like Black and half Asian. And she had not the longest hair, but she had like probably like her hair was curly. And so I guess if she were to straighten it, she would probably have like at least like, shoulder length hair. And Jade, I remember, came into the competition hoping that she was going to get a weave because she felt like the girls with the long hair were the ones who were working. And Tyra gave her the shortcut, dyed her hair blonde. And to me, Jade looked very beautiful in her natural state. It is just my opinion. Y'all can tell me how y'all feel about it. I feel like Tyra had a problem with light-skinned women just the same as dark-skinned women. Let's see here. Okay, so we got Connie and True Crazy Lion connecting. I love to see it. You can tell, and is it Ratio? You can look at Tyra and tell her lack of empathy. Yeah. Getting SA, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Shandy. Let me put, let's see. Let's talk about Shandy. So I admit, I did not understand anything about how reality TV worked when I was watching America's Next Top Model. I was in it for the drama. And this is season 2, cycle 2. And what I saw, or I think that I saw what everybody else saw, or what we thought we saw. I thought that when Shandy went to Milan, she's coming along in the competition. And I remember the photo shoot in Milan of Shandy in that lacy frock when they teased her hair really big. That was one of the pictures that I remember her, and I remember Joanna
Joanna's picture, the girl who won that cycle. I remember that picture, and then that picture that I think it was like maybe Joanna's last picture. It was just like this space forward picture. She had a bright red lipstick. I thought that girl was just really pretty. There are some photos that I remember from this show that are kind of just like etched in my memory. And that one was one like I was like, oh, Shandy could take this, you know. I remember that. So in my mind, I just thought that Shandy was finally hearing, after all these years of feeling like, you know, she's unseen, she's just a skinny girl. Now she's gone to Milan and she's getting all these compliments from all these guys. I thought she was just kind of feeling herself. And so now, you know, we've got these hot guys on Vespas, and didn't even think the guy was that hot, but maybe that's what they were thinking. You know, they haven't seen guys in weeks, months, maybe. So, hormones, these young people, young, dumb, and full of inspiration. And so she's just like, oh, okay. You know, I'm gonna get on with this guy because he thinks that I'm hot and I'm feeling myself. And that's what I thought. I thought she just got over there and was having a good old time, forgot about her man, and you know, did what she did. This was the first time I had ever heard that that's not what it was. The story that Shandy explained to us was that she got blackout drunk and that that this guy had his way with her against her will. That's the way that I'll say it. So I don't want to say S8. I don't like to use the, you know, letters in place of something. So I'll try my best to say it without losing my channel, if that's okay with y'all. I didn't know that. I didn't have any of that story. And what the hell, right? Yes, they're grown, they're adults, but they're still children. I mean, like, y'all think back to when you're 18, 19, 20, 22, 24. You don't have it together. And they needed to be looked over. I can't imagine the thought of someone just filming this. Like, well, you know, as long as two people are there, like at least two people, we got to keep the cameras rolling. This can make for great TV. And Ken Mock, just as guilty as Tyra. Well, we scaled back that scene a lot. There's a lot that we didn't show. Like, that was really good TV. Like, these people are insane to me. These people are insane to me. I don't know. That made me feel so gross knowing that what I thought I saw wasn't what it was. I thought that, okay, she just, you know, got a little full of herself and cheated on her boyfriend. And like, girl, it's not the end of the world. But that's not what it was. And I feel awful knowing that that's what it was. No, you know, Tyra's not anyone's mother, but these young girls are in her custody, you know, so to speak. And so there should be some protections in place for them. I mean, like, even when, yeah, I one of my guilty pleasures on YouTube. I have two guilty pleasures on YouTube. Watching predators get arrested by these, you know, rogue predator catchers, as Chris Hansen likes to call them, and I like watching body cam videos. And you think about when someone is in police custody, you know, and the police are ready to take them to jail, and then you know, the person who is in cuffs is like, oh, my heart is going crazy. I need to go to the hospital. I need an ambulance, you know. But we know that they just have a severe case of incarceritis and they don't want to go to jail. It doesn't matter. They're still in police custody. So the police have to give them some kind of care. And even though the police are just rolling their eyes like, okay, well, shit, we got to call a damn ambulance to get here now before we take this fool to jail. But they still have to do that. And it seems like inmates in police custody got a little bit more care than these girls on America's Next Top Model. Like, they're still in your custody. Like, you got to watch out for them to some degree. You're taking a bunch of young people across, you know, across the Atlantic Ocean. Like, you got to take care of them to some degree. This are my thoughts on it.
I don't believe that Ziegfeld made the girls wear blackface. Blackface was very popular at that time in entertainment. I don't believe that was a thing that he did. But you know, Tyra didn't know any better. Tyra didn't know. You know, it was a different time. Black people didn't know in 2004 that blackface was a bad thing. Y'all, listen. Yes, it was a different time. We're talking about a quarter of a century ago. But I think that every black person under the sun knew by 1920 that blackface was not a good thing. And I mean, it is so crazy because she turns around and does it a few seasons later with the short girls. And I don't know if she couldn't get another photographer to do it, but she ends up shooting it the second time. I would like to think that it's because she couldn't find a photographer to come in and shoot that. Like, let me know next week when you're not doing blackface and I'll come in and shoot the girls. But Tyra didn't know. Tyra didn't know. This black woman didn't know that blackface was not a good thing after the year 2000. Nuts. Didn't know. Yeah, ANTM was Tyra's punk. And that's funny because I've been saying that for a while. And I didn't even realize, or I didn't remember that at some point Tyra, they showed it in the documentary. At some point, Tyra, you know, was like, "Hey, I'm switching hats today, and I'm taking some cues from my friend Ashton Kutcher at Punk'd." I'm like, "Girl, you have been doing that since cycle 1. What are you talking about?" So yeah, like it was funny to see that she actually had referenced him and, you know, Punk'd at some point in the ANTM history. Let's see here. Hi, Whimsy says they look like talking about Jael. Yeah, and the Follies girl. More like Sasha. The I can't. What is the new? I forgot the name of her new alter ego, but yeah, it is definitely a flop. It's craziness. I know how you feel. I do YouTube videos. I'll be happy when I get 7 people in my chat. Yeah, well, look, keep going, Chevette. And did you share your channel? Let us know what your channel is and what you talk about. You might get 7 people from this chat over there. It's not easy when you're starting, y'all, but I'll let me put on my YouTube teacher hat for a second. I'll tell you what changed it for me. And I wish you were here right now, but there was one thing. Listen to the people who are showing up. Listen to your community who's there and who's locked in. When they have suggestions for you, doesn't mean that they necessarily know every single thing, but when they're suggesting things, especially if it's something along the lines of what you're already doing or what you could do, or especially, and if you don't have a direction for your channel, because I did not have a direction for my channel when I was just doing those live streams. It was random. It was whatever I saw on Twitter. I'm like, that's interesting to me. I should talk about it. And I had to get over the fact that people are not going to, in droves, come to my channel because of me, right? People come to my channel now because they like the history stories that I do. They like the history mess, the history deep dive, messy stuff. They don't come because of me, right? So like I could make a video tomorrow. I can be like, hey, I want to keep cranking out content. I can make a video tomorrow of me taking my dogs to the dog park. No one will care. They'll be like, Ty, what are you smoking? Right? So it's not about me. And so what got my channel on track was I had teased a video that I was going to do in a live stream. I'm like, y'all, I know this crazy story about Sam Cooke and Bobby Womack. I just read Bobby Womack's autobiography, and it's crazy. I need to tell y'all this story. But my thing was I was not good at editing at the time. And that story was going to require more editing from me than I felt like doing. And so I just kept putting it off and still kept streaming about random stuff. But there was one subscriber named Brenda Holiday who has been with my channel like through every iteration, all of the bad, when it got better,
to now, especially if I know if I put a picture of my dogs up, I'm going to see Brenda. If she knew that I were live streaming, she would probably be here. But I went on and I made that video finally. And I made it, and it's not great. The story is great. The story is really great. And I'm a good writer. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that. I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know anything about the fact that my microphone was fried. But that is still the #1 most viewed video on my channel. It has 1 million views, just crossed 1 million views at some point last year or the beginning of this year. I don't know for sure, but listening to your audience, and then once that video took off, this was the first time that I made the video, and like usual, it got about 200 views like most of my videos did. And the reason I heard that the audio sounded bad, but I'm like, nobody watches this channel anyway. Let me just put this video out because I made it and I'm tired of editing. I don't feel like looking at this. That was how I put that video out. And then 2 months later, for whatever reason, and I still don't know why it started gaining traction, I was at work one Friday and I had my notifications on for YouTube on my phone at that time. And literally my phone just kept going off because people kept leaving a comment on that video. And I'm checking the views, and every 30 minutes, another 500 views. And by the time that was going into Memorial Day weekend. And by the time the Memorial Day weekend was over, I had 300,000 views. When I made that video, I had 3,000 subscribers. By the time that Memorial Day weekend was over, I had 6,300 subscribers, 300,000 views, doubled my subscriber count just because I listened to what my audience was telling me to do. And then it became, now I have to double down on that. I had read a lot of biographies and I knew a lot of stories that were similar to that. So that's how I built the channel, on a lot of soul singer scandals and frankly, Black celebrity scandals. But I pivoted it. I pivoted my content. Y'all know now 1870 to 1940. That's just where I love. That's the era of history that I love. The audience I love more because I was getting, frankly, if I'm being honest, a lot of angry Black men who were saying, oh, you're just making content to bring Black men down. That's all you want to do is tear down Black men. It's like, no, like, y'all understand, I'm not making this stuff up. In the same way that you all liked them and enjoyed their music and even revered some of them, I felt the same way. I didn't know that they were trash as human beings until they wrote it themselves in their own autobiographies, or else commissioned a biographer to tell their story, as well. So I'm just finding out the stuff just like y'all. But so I was getting nasty comments that I just didn't feel like dealing with. And I'm like, if I can just maybe go a little bit further back, I can have some people who are not so close to the stories and we can all just talk about still messy, scandalous stuff. But now we're in a space that I like. And so I'm saying this to say, I don't know what your channel is about. I don't know if you've gotten the direction, tied down for your channel. But once you get there, everyone, if you keep going long enough, you're going to have an outlier video that takes off. When you get that video, do more of that. And so that's all that I did. That's how my channel grew, because I was all over the place at first, like most YouTubers are, because we don't know how to do this thing. No, I'm 49 years old. There was no one who ever came to my middle school or my high school who was a YouTuber for career day to tell you how to be a YouTuber, right? We're all learning it on the fly. But that's one thing that will help you. Anyone who's under the sound of my voice, starting a channel, keep that in mind. I'm giving y'all free tea. Like, y'all, I have a membership where I charge for this kind of information, but no. I also, y'all might know, I used to do like YouTube help live streams on this channel. I wouldn't do it on this channel anymore. I have another channel for that. But anyway, I hope that helps someone who's trying to figure out YouTube. Let's see here. And I'm going to end this at 2 hours. We have 7 minutes to go. So I'm just going to get through as many comments as I can. But I really appreciate you all for hanging out with me. I had no idea what this live stream was going to be. I'm probably going to edit it so that someone who wants to watch doesn't have to just listen to me rambling on about all the comments. I got to think about the replay value. So let's see here. Great social commentary, Ty. I love how you can meld astute social observations with sarcastic, sassy humor for both historic and contemporary situations. Great stuff. I appreciate that. Let's see. Chevette says Tyra was also a colorist. Yeah, 100%. So let's go on and talk about Tiffany. I mean, I don't think that her colorism was put on better display than how she dealt with Tiffany. How can I? Yo, I'm stuck. Oh, can't move through my slides. There we go. Yeah, so I think that this is a clear example of Tyra's colorism on full display. Tiffany, the dark-skinned beauty, maybe who was giving her flashbacks of Naomi Campbell, because y'all know Tyra definitely had a bee in her bonnet about Naomi Campbell. Naomi should have taken Tyra in and helped her and treated her like a little sister, but she didn't do that. And so, just like I have a theory about Tyra being jealous of light-skinned women and their real hair, I have a theory about Tyra and black-skinned women, and because of this obsession with Naomi Campbell and Naomi Campbell being this mean girl, blah blah, I think that Tyra would get her group of girls and would find the darkest one and take out all of her Naomi Campbell frustrations on that girl. And then eventually she got around to giving the girl the Naomi Campbell makeover, the long part down the middle, long weave. And so I think that this is Tyra, yelling at Naomi Campbell in her mind. I'm going to give it to her. Beyond colorism, like this is Tyra's savior complex on full display. Because, she loves to tell the story that, Tiffany came to us with anger management. She came to us with anger issues, and we worked with her. We got her back on track and all this shit. Right. And so Tiffany's back now. And Tiffany came, and this was, we were out reading for you. This was that moment. This is that moment. Let me acknowledge my super chat before it disappears from here. Hold on. Who is this? Breathless Connie. Thank you so much. This live is only reinforcing my parasocial relationship. You are beautiful and hilarious. Thank you. Thank you for being you and sharing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Listen, are any of you in the Houston area? Let me know. Let me know if any of you are in the Houston area, because I want to get out a little more. So maybe we can have some relationships that are, I don't know, not parasocial. They're social relationships. But let me know. So let's talk about this. Tiffany came from a tough background. She came from, I believe, Florida, from the Miami area. She said that she was a hustler. She had been a stripper. She was I believe, a single mother. And her grandmother, Tiffany said, got the lights cut out. So the lights went off. Her electricity was cut off so that her grandmother could afford to buy the bathing suits. They need to have 2 bikinis, I believe, as part of, their essentials to come to top model. And her grandmother did that because she wanted Tiffany to be in a different environment. She wanted her to win and thrive. And so she did that. So Tiffany comes back to this season, and I'm pushing my dog away. One of them is like over here. I have 2 dogs, y'all, just in case y'all don't know. So she comes, and the first season that she tried to come, she got into a fight. And it looks like the fight was started by some women who were in a bar. I believe they were white women, and they poured beer on Tiffany's weave. I don't know what words were exchanged before beer got poured on a weave, and Tiffany fought back. And so now she needs anger management. It sounds like she was just defending herself or fighting back. Like, I can't imagine someone pouring beer in my hair and me just standing there, because I want to be calm and respectable. Wow, let me walk away. This is insane.
I think that like if you pour beer on me, that's considered assault. Like I'm at least gonna push you. Like what the fuck? Why are you pouring beer on my hair? What's wrong with you, right? Or my weave, or like whatever. If I'm wearing a weave, why would you like? What's wrong with you? I'm gonna have a problem. But you know, dark skinned black women get the aggressive label. Black women get the aggressive label. So Tiffany got the aggressive label. So she's anger management. So Tyra and the team, they're working tirelessly with Tiffany around the clock so they can get her anger management. She comes back strong to the next season. And this was before this was right after, I'm sorry, one of their challenges where the girls have to read a teleprompter. Again, America's Next Top Model, we now know, is just this huge humiliation ritual for all of the contestants. So this humiliation ritual was reading a teleprompter that had names of a lot of designers, looks like a lot of French designers that the girls are not going to be familiar with. And they're, hey, y'all, I'm reporting live from the red carpet of such and such. And we have blah, 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 and blah, blah, French toast and French fries and French waffles and all these French names that the girls can't pronounce. And Tiffany gave up, like, I can't do this. Tyra's like, come on, Tiffany, do it. Do it, Tiffany, for my ratings, do it. And Tiffany can't. So she gets eliminated. Another young lady gets eliminated. And, Nigel said that the girls needed a wake-up call. So I guess Tyra's like, I know just the wake-up call is when I show this photo, it's not going to have anyone on either side. Ha, 2 eliminations. You're both going home. So Tiffany, hey, girls, it's all right. They're all crying like they do at eliminations. I guess they do, form some bonds. Everyone isn't in the model house just catfighting with each other all day long. Tiffany seemed like a fun girl to be around. So the girls were sad that she was leaving. Tiffany's going up to the girls. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. She's hugging everybody. This is me hugging y'all. Don't cry. Don't cry, girl. I don't want to see those tears. I'll be all right. Blah, blah. That's not good enough for Tyra. Now, to me, the way that Tiffany handled that elimination, it sounds like someone who's gone through anger management, and maybe the anger management is working. Tiffany's not in the elimination room, strangling Tyra because she got eliminated. What do you mean I can't keep going on in the hopes of becoming America's Next Top Model just because I can't read French words? No, girls, y'all, it's okay. You win some, you lose some. But Tyra wants for people, even though there's only one spot, even though everyone's not going to make it, like Tyra finally said in the documentary, everyone's not going to be famous. We should have made that more clear. Even though there's only one spot, Tyra wants for these girls to be desperate. Tyra wants for these girls to be broken when their picture is not the one at the elimination and they don't get to go on for another weekend. But Tiffany wasn't broken. Tiffany didn't give Tyra the reaction that she wanted, so Tyra had to go off. Hey, what do you mean you're leaving here with your head held high? Tiffany, get back over here. There's something I need to tell you. Now you look here, you dark-skinned girl. How dare you come in here? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. You could have made it to the top, but you just gave up. And now look at you leaving with your head held high. Now, by this time, she's already been eliminated. So what the fuck was she supposed to do, right? Like, what was she supposed to do? Well, Tyra, look, maybe I am angry, okay? I haven't had the best life, I did take it seriously, but it's over now. No, that's not enough. You shut up and you let me tell you. You don't know how bad I've had it. You don't know where I come from. But when something goes wrong with me, I take lemons and I make lemonade. Damn it. You don't know how to make lemonade. So you stupid girl, your grandmother got her got her lights cut off to get you a bikini so you could be here. So now I have to embarrass you in front of everyone. In case anyone didn't hear, y'all, Tiffany's grandmother, she had her lights cut off because Tiffany's so poor, she couldn't afford 2 bikinis to get here. So let me tell this in front of everyone and our guest judge, who, do y'all know who the guest judge was that week? It seems like, was it Boris Kodjoe? It was some, I didn't remember the episode, but I noticed like a glimpse of some extra black man off to the side when I watched the documentary. I don't remember, but let me embarrass you in front of everyone. Damn it, because I'm not done with you.
That's what that was. And yeah, Tyra has a problem with dark-skinned women. It was why she was okay with the way that those white women were cutting Ebony's hair in the first season. And there was another white woman saying that Ebony was, oh, but she's so aggressive. She's so hard to work with. And then what else did Tyra call her? Ashy. You know, that's something that no black woman wants to be called. Oh, you know, Ebony, I mean, you could probably make it, but you're just so ashy. You're gonna have to do something. And I do remember in that first season, Ebony always slathering lotion on herself. I remember that she was constantly doing that. Um, that's just, yeah, Yvette, Tyra was colorist on top of everything else. And you know, that could be part of the reason why some black people don't trust. Like I said, I feel like I'm medium brown, and I feel like Tyra's medium brown. And y'all can tell me if you feel differently. Uh, I don't think Tyra's light skinned. People say that she is, but sometimes people say that I am. It depends on if I'm in the sun or not, but whatever. Some people say they don't trust brown women in the conversations about color because they say that we play both sides of the fence, right? But I think that Tyra just had it in for anybody, whether you're lighter or whether you're darker, you can get it. She's jealous of you if you're lighter. She thinks she's better than you if you're darker, but she's gonna find that reason. I think that Tyra has a problem with black women. I do. Um, and is it just me, or did Tyra get a nose job? I'm asking. I'm not saying that she did. I looked, you know, at older pictures of her modeling, and her nose looked wider. And so maybe Tyra feels like she has to, you know, she already has, you know, I believe naturally colored green eyes. It looks like maybe she was, I mean, she did say that she was told by people in Paris that her nose was too big. And so did she get her nose narrowed to make it in the fashion industry, you know, to look more Eurocentric? Um, Tyra's got issues with Tyra. It's taking it out on these girls who cross her path, is the way that I see it. I don't know how y'all see it, but I don't have time to get to every comment, but I do want to at least scroll down and no, I meant what I put in the title, Asha. It was just to make people look and hopefully think that maybe I was crazy and get you to click. It was clickbait. Sorry, no, but I did mean it just because of what I was comparing it to, an old story. But I do want to acknowledge everyone who's here. Hi, Sharita says, right, we can see by the title. We can see, sorry, we can see that by the way she treated Tiffany. Let's see here. Marquita, hi, says Tyra got issues. Absolutely. Hi, Big JXXX. Hello. Shiny Sparkles, I don't know if I've said hello to you. Hi. Tyra has issues with the executives at Bravo, wanted this. Black women on cable in the early 2000s was crazy work. And I think that this was UPN, not Bravo. Executives at Bravo want it now, but yes, this was a UPN back then on regular TV. Let's see here. And I think, yeah, like period, Andrea. Blackface has always been bad, but Tyra didn't know until she sat down for this documentary. Oh, you know, we probably shouldn't have done that. But y'all, the Jays and Nigel, just as culpable in my opinion. We're talking about Tyra because I'm comparing her to someone else. But if y'all want to, like, we can revisit this and talk about the other ones next week. Let's see here. Let's see. What? Hi, Coco. Like you're rambling. Thank you. I appreciate it. Or are you saying like you are rambling? Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Let's see here. I just want to acknowledge every person who's here, y'all. I won't be able to get to everyone. Hi, is it Velvet Nebula? Let's see here. Sorry. She definitely hates on other Black women. It's like she wants to be the only Black woman, the token. Yeah, it does seem that way. Let's see here. I am the Violet girl. Right. Our nose and ears continue to grow as we age. Smaller nose now. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, look, y'all, I don't want to go too long, but I do appreciate everyone being here. Um, I'm back to live streaming now. I'll make my live streams on Sundays and I'll make them a little bit earlier going forward. But y'all, thank you all so much for showing up. I appreciate each and every one of you. Um, thanks for hanging out. This was so much fun. I haven't live streamed in literally years, and I'm back. I felt good, and it's been a good time. So I'll probably edit this down and maybe re-release it as a video, or just edit it in the live stream so that people who come back, who missed us live, don't have to go through all of the rambling that I'm doing, and interacting with the chat. But thank you all so much. And Rothy, thank you so much for the super sticker, and Breathless Connie, thank you as well for your super chat. Y'all know I always want to thank people who put some money on it, but you don't have to put any money on it. I just appreciate y'all being here. Let's see here. I'm sorry. 1999 year. Okay. Everyone have a good and blessed night and week. Yes, you do the same. I appreciate you. And hold up. Shit balls. I can't believe I missed my favorite creators live. Skinwalker. Well, thank you. The Amazon runner. That's hilarious. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And Michelle, thank you again for your advice before I started this live stream. So I totally enjoyed myself. It was worth staying up until 4:10. Michelle is in España, in Mallorca. She says, in the morning, you're a shining star. Don't ever stop doing what you do. The world needs more of you. Besos. Besos, Michelle. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, mi amiga. Y'all have a good night. Have a good week. I love you too. That was so funny. Y'all, I will be back next Sunday live, and I will have something for you, probably another compilation this Friday, but I'm working on 2 new pieces of content to get out to you all as quickly as I can. Thank y'all so much for your patience dealing with me and all the things that I'm doing to try to get y'all some good, fresh, hot history and hot mess history content. Y'all have a good night, a good rest of your weekend, and a great week. And I'll see y'all next Sunday. And I'll have something for you to watch on Friday. Later, y'all. Thank y'all so much.